Welcome back to my daily teaser briefing. Those of you around India, I hope you had a lovely day. And on the other side of the world, I hope your Saturday, your weekend starts off lovely. Without indulging in any more formalities, let's dive straight to the only daily parliament session highlight in English. Chaired by Honourable Speaker Kimbastam Timpela, the sixth day of the 17th Tibetan Parliament in Exile's ninth session, the budget session, began at 9:30 a.m. with the first reading of the legislative amendment procedure of several rules and regulations. The legislative amendment proposal today included rules and regulations for the Public Service Commission, the rules and regulation on annual budget and finance regulation, and the rules and regulations for housing and estate of the Tibetan settlements, and many more. The enlisted were proposed by the Kasha, and they sought a safe passage through the first reading of the legislative amendments. The amendment proposal of the rules and regulation for the Public Service Commission, that's Legitim Golhanganki Dikshi, pretty much dealt with various aspects of rules concerning the recruitment and promotion of the civil servants of CTA. Whereas the rules and regulation on the annual budget and finance regulation, that's by Kasha, looked into a circumstance if and when the CTA faces a government shutdown scenario. But as for my personal opinion, it seemed, which could have echoed with some of my colleagues in the parliament, seemed like it lacked the accountability of democracy, and I reckon it'll proceed for revision by the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee for a major consideration and assessment before presented again in the Parliament. But we shall see how the Honourable Speaker decides on the matter when the second reading begins, as Honourable Speaker has decided. Then alongside them, the last legislative amendment proposal by Kasha, that is the rules and regulation for housing and estate of the Tibetan settlements, that is Senjupumi Shijakha ki Sacha Takzin Tha Pyojuchejo ki Dikshi, had a minor technical alteration. Following this, the ad hoc committee, which was appointed to review the rules and regulation for the parliamentary procedure and conduct of the business of the Tibetan Parliament in Exile, specifically focusing on the provisions related to the impeachment or removal or dismissal of various dignitaries of the Central Tibetan Administration, presented its report. The chair of the ad hoc committee, Chidu Gishel Harambago Losapendela, presented the report and the amendment proposal based on the committee's review passed its first reading. Then as the day proceeded, the first reading for the legislative amendment proposal to several other rules and regulations were also accepted. The list of business saw rules and regulation for salaries and allowance for the Supreme Justice Commissioner and the other Justice Commissioner. Also, rules and regulation for the standing committee members of the Tibetan Parliament in Exile. The rules and regulation for honorarium, daily allowances, and other entitlements for the members of the Tibetan Parliament. Then the rules and regulation for the salaries and other allowances of Sikyong and the Kalu. The rules and regulation for the salaries and other allowance for the Chief Election Commission, the rules and regulation for salaries and other allowances for the chairman of the Public Service Commission, and finally the rules and regulation for the salaries and other allowances for the Auditor General of the Office of Auditor. Basically, those amendments focused on revising the maternity leave and a significant move for the first time of adding 15-day paternity leave entitlement. Apart from revising the vision and dental treatment, like the secretaries of the CTA and various other benefits, then as per the list of business, a bill related to the Tibetan Supreme Justice Commission, the Tibetan Code of Civil Procedure, that's Tsinchupimbi Timshikhan ki Chimatoshi ki Dulu Sanzin Timyi ki Timjar, was introduced in the House today. The presentation and the first reading of the draft regulation will begin on Monday. So finally, the Secretary General Snam Dojila Gonsotong of the Tibetan Parliamentary Secretariat read out the leaves of absence and list of business for the next week. So yeah, basically the Parliament session for today adjourned at 5 until Monday. So this was it for today. I hope you have a lovely weekend, lovely Sunday, and excited to join me on Monday for the continuation of the 9th session of the 17th Tibetan Parliament in Exile. Laho, Taritaran Samshigi, Namso, Tasle, Kumamsa.